Hello, Randonauts. Well, that was a little excited. I don't know if that fits the mood of what this video is going to be because I don't know what this video is going to turn into, but I do know that I'm in Fort Collins, Colorado, and the theme of our video today is a special request from a lovely lady named Amy in the UK. The theme of our journey today is Ted Bundy. So this is going to be a really interesting theme intention for me to do today because one, I wouldn't have probably come up with this on my own. So I'm glad that someone suggested it and it complements my natural interest in true crime and my theme that I've been going with on my channel of doing Randonauticas that are about an event or someone or something that happened. For some reason, I've been really enjoying doing intentions on that. They feel more meaningful to me than just doing a random thing like the color green is my intention or, something like that. That said, though, Ted Bundy is super creepy and super freaky. I watched the documentary that came out on Netflix, I think it was in 2020 last year, about him and all of the women that he killed and how he got away from prison when he was actually in Colorado. Was that in Grand Junction or Snowmass? One of those places. Oh no, it was Aspen. That's what it was. He was in a library or something in Aspen, jumped out a window. Anyway, if you are not familiar with Ted Bundy, he was a prolific serial killer in the 1970s, killing tens of women from California out to Florida. He killed 3 women in Colorado, I believe, one in Grand Junction, Snowmass, and Vail. I think those are the only 3 that I can think of right now. So your next question might be, well, Genevieve, what does Fort Collins have to do with Ted Bundy? And the answer to that is nothing. They don't really have anything in common that I know of. Maybe Ted Bundy has visited Fort Collins, but there's nothing in terms of his crime spree that I know of that led him to Fort Collins. So why are we here doing a Ted Bundy theme? That's just some Genevieve magic right there because I wanted to come to Fort Collins today. It's been a place I've been wanting to film for you guys for a while because it's a really cool place to live and to visit in Colorado. And it just so happens that Ted Bundy is on my radar. So we are combining the two, and that's why you're getting this at this moment. Okay, so let's just jump into this randonauting thing. Again, if you're unfamiliar with the app and you are just tuning in, one, congratulations on finding this corner of the internet. And 2, the Randonautica app is an app that will take an intention that you have and then give you a random location within a radius that supposedly matches energetically, spiritually, emotionally, physically with your intention. So I just pulled up the app. Fort Collins, by the way, Fort Collins is ginormous. It covers a huge area. So you can see, I tried to be kind of in the center of Fort Collins. I don't really know though, because I don't know it well enough to know what the center is. But you can see how much of this, if we'll freaking focus, oh my goodness, it's not going to do it. But how much of the city goes beyond my 4-kilometer radius? When I do these in Boulder, which is where I'm from, you can almost fit all of Boulder in a 4-kilometer radius. Almost, not quite. But Fort Collins is ginormous and only half of the city is in my radius, which is just fascinating to me. So anyway, this is where I chose to start. It feels intuitively like this is right. This spot right here where I am under this tree. It's why it's kind of shady, which is nice. So my first intention is going to just be Ted Bundy. Just no questions. No additions, just Ted Bundy is the intention, and we're just going to see if I put that into the app, what that might bring me in terms of maybe we will find a very strong connection between Fort Collins and Ted Bundy. Who knows? Let's just see what happens. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy. Oh Lord. Okay. Whenever I get certain points, and it just sends a shiver. That's what this point is doing to me. It's okay, so it's in kind of a farmy looking area. It's next to someone's house. It's in their yard or their backyard, it looks like. But this area, it looks like it's suburban, but the houses are really spread out. This is fascinating. It's also, whoa, what is that? Okay. I just zoomed out a little bit. Do you see here, there's like a bunch of like shipping containers. So we're going out to like maybe kind of a rural area. I don't know, but I got chills. So I don't know, because when Ted Bundy is your intention, I don't know if good things are going to happen. And that's also partly obviously why we're a little trepidatious about doing this, but let's go. So here we go. I do not know Fort Collins very well at all. And I realized as I was driving in here, I was like, whoa, I haven't even been to Fort Collins in like well over a year, maybe even almost 2 years, because during the pandemic, I had really no business down here. So it wasn't really a place I visited. I've always really liked Fort Collins. Weird fact about me, when I moved back to Colorado from, I gotta turn left here, from DC, my initial plan was to live in Fort Collins. I had never lived here before, but at the time I had friends that were here. So I thought, let's start a new life in Fort Collins, but it did not pan out. So obviously I was not meant to make that new life in Fort Collins. Maybe at least not yet. I mean, I guess there's still hope, but I don't really have Fort Collins on my radar at the moment in terms of where I'd like to personally live. But I definitely recommend it to other people who are thinking about moving here. I think on all my Colorado videos, I talk about it on my lists and stuff. But anyway, I say that I don't know Fort Collins very well because I don't, and I need the directions very badly because I have no idea where I am. So anyway, so far we are very much still in whatever this is, like kind of a suburb mixed with stores and things, and we're at some interesting stoplights, and yeah, we're about 6 minutes away. Yeah. So far, it's taking us to the west side of Fort Collins. I can see we're kind of approaching the foothills, although now I'm turning left. And oh my gosh, this is interesting because, okay, wow, I think I'm close to where, this is so weird to say, but where an ex-boyfriend who was also a friend after we broke up, I think this is where his apartment really was, or was near, because the Shield Street, all of a sudden I'm having flashbacks of like there's a gas station over there. Do you see that? And I remember going there, and then the Shield Street thing is really familiar. So I feel like we're like kind of near his apartment, which is always fascinating when you're doing the Randonautica app and you're led to something that was like kind of personal to you, that like only you would kind of know about, you know? So just interesting, since Fort Collins is such a big, wide place, that my intention is leading me back kind of through places that I used to spend time in another time of my life. So even though it's like of all the places of Fort Collins, like I would kind of come near this place, which is interesting. So anyway, I get stopped at a lot of stoplights in Fort Collins, so I'm sorry we're not going very fast, but what does it say? Okay, now we're 4 minutes away once I turn down left down this Shields Street. So we're coming down Shields. Not seeing anything else super interesting. It's very suburban out here. Apparently, I'm kind of confused because suddenly the app is saying that the point is on this street. Like there's nowhere else to turn. It just says like your destination is up ahead in 1.7 miles. And I'm like, what? Because I thought we were going to turn on the side street. So I'm a little confused, but that's okay. I'm directionally challenged, and maybe this is going to turn into something a little more rural. Something else I've noticed is people in this area, they drive very fast and aggressively. I don't know. That's just a weird thing to note, but a little bit more aggressive. It's like once you get into Longmont, that's where the aggressive drivers, they just start popping out. Okay, at that last stop sign, I looked at the map to see like, okay, where the heck are we going? And so it thinks I need to park on Shields, which is impossible. Obviously, this is not a road that has like street parking. I gotta get over. But the point is like near Shields, and it thinks that I'm gonna somehow magically stop on this road and then walk to the point from here. So that's obviously not gonna happen because we can't just stop in the middle of this road. So yeah, I am super curious. Oh, I see. Now it's getting more rural. Oh, do you see this? This is very pretty. Okay. I like this. And I am trying to hope I guess, because it's going to be on the right up ahead in like this, because over on the left we got a suburb, little neighborhood, and then on the right we've got, this is like a trail we just passed, which is cool. And then I'm really hoping that there's a place we can sort of turn right, maybe.
In a half mile, your destination will be
Okay,
on the
it says
right.
in a half mile, my destination is on the right. Okay. It always makes me like anxious when the point is like right off of a busy road like this, because it's like I can't do anything about it. Okay, I'm going to tell you, because we are not going to really, okay, well maybe we will. Okay, oh my gosh, there's someone behind me, but we're going to turn over. Oh my gosh, wait, okay, it's not yet. People behind me think I'm crazy, I bet. Frick, okay, it's like right here by this tree.
Your destination is on the right.
Oh my gosh, okay, we are doing something illegal, but we're doing it. Okay, I am so illegally just like parked in the bike lane on the side of the road, and oh, I don't like it. I'm gonna try to find a place to park, but I just wanted to pull over and show. So there's the point. Obviously, I'm like stopped in the road, but this is the area. This is where the point is. It's like kind of back behind these trees specifically, I think. But you can see it's a very rural, old house with land kind of situation. So I'm gonna drive around without filming, so I can really find a spot, and maybe we can find a spot to park and maybe explore this. But as you can see, it is definitely private property, so I don't know how much of it we're gonna see, but this seems like an interesting area and I would like to explore it, so that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, so I drove up and I drove back down Shields. There is just nowhere near there to park. And not only that, but the point really is like inaccessible. Like there's a barbed wire fence that goes along the road to, you know, protect that field like land. And I can kind of see from here like the sort of general area of the point. So let me show you. So I had to drive back down this big road here that is the Shields Road and park at that trail that we passed. And the point is kind of like way up there, kind of even beyond the trees. It's like there's those trees and there's more field, and then that's where the point is with some other trees. And it does look very beautiful. It looks like a field with trees, but I feel like this point is a dud. Like we're not going to get very close at all. And when it's so kind of natural like this, when it's so natural, there's almost like, it's like, what do I make of that? When there's really nothing, like maybe there is something, maybe there's something weird buried by the tree. Cause the one thing I'll say is when I drove back this way, the tree that's like right by the point looked really creepy. So maybe there's something about the tree. Maybe there's something buried there. Maybe, who knows? But I don't think we're going to get very close to this point. So what we're going to do is do another intention, and hopefully it's going to be in a place that we can actually get to. But this is the reality of using the Randonautica app, is that often you're not able to physically get to the point like you might want to. Also, I say a lot, it's about the journey. Sometimes the intention is kind of played out on the journey to get there. I don't think that happened in this one, because unless my ex-boyfriend is Ted Bundy, and that's why we passed his apartment to come here, which I don't think is true. He seems like a nice guy, but Ted Bundy also seemed like a nice guy. He was like the total charismatic, handsome charmer who was also a very messed up serial killer. So anyway, I guess we're going to look out for those types as we just move forward with our lives. But anyway, let me put this down, and we're going to do another point that hopefully gets us somewhere. All right. It's so effing hot on this mid-August day, so we're not going to spend hopefully a ton of time in this spot. But let me go back and we're going to reset everything in the app. Okay, so everything's reset. Obviously, my radius has also reset because it took me to this area, which is further kind of I guess southwest. So I'm kind of in a different radius now, which I like. I like that I'm in a little bit more of a rural suburban area, because often that can be a good place to find points that are accessible, although not this time, but other times. So my next intention is about the victims of Ted Bundy, in terms of what is a message that the victims would like us to know now. I like doing intentions like this because it usually feels kind of healing for me, but we'll see. Because you never know what you're going to get with this. So a message from the victims of Ted Bundy. Here we go. Okay, restarting that intention because apparently in that parking lot in that whole area, there's no service, so we couldn't get a point. So we've restarted, we've reset the app. That's it. I'm in the center again, and we're gonna get this message from his victims. Here we go. Message from Ted Bundy's victim. Message from... Whoa, that was fast. Weird. Okay, it just looks weird. This is what I'm seeing. Do you see how weird that is? It's obviously in a suburb, and it's like around a park, maybe? Like all these houses are built around a park, and the point is like in the center of this park. Whoa. So I'm hoping it's accessible, but it also kind of doesn't look like a park. It looks like a weird arid mountain or something. Because also that could just be a hill, guys. I don't know what it is. My goodness. Okay, well, let's drive over there. This is a fascinating point, especially with this intention. So let's just see what this looks like. Let's go. Okay, first of all, whoa, when I pulled up the point in Google Maps, that's when I saw that this point is actually right next to where I was parked and couldn't get a point because there's no service. It's called the, I guess it's like Kathy from Nature Preserve area or something. So this point is like right next to there. So there's something about that area that for whatever reason has some sort of residual energy match with Ted Bundy stuff, because it's kind of where the first point was, and then the second point is also like right kind of in the neighborhood that's right along that nature preserve. So that's just like, it freaks me out when stuff like that happens, especially when I'm led back to an area that I happen to be parked in. It's just like, whoa, because again, if it's a 4-kilometer radius in which these random points could appear, and it's notable when it takes you to some place that you've already just been. So anyway, we're gonna go back there. Obviously not exactly back where I was because we're going to the neighborhood instead. So I'm just really curious what it is we're gonna find, what this weird park or mound of earth is gonna be over there. So yeah, what an adventure. One thing that I also just happen to personally like is that it's taking us to the west kind of edge of Fort Collins that borders up against the mountains at their little foothills, which of course, because I'm biased, are not nearly as good as the Boulder foothills. But I always like the parts of Colorado like this, where it's like where the towns meet the mountains. And so I kind of like that we're coming over to this area. This is a different way to get there. Totally. We're going to that nature preserve, as I said, like that area, but we're going like to a different side of it, I guess, because we're going on a totally different kind of path right now. So anyway, another stoplight. That's another theme of today. A lot of stoplights in Fort Collins. Not cool, Fort Collins. Okay, I've officially decided that if I'm going to live in Fort Collins one day, I want to live in this area, this like western part that's kind of it's like a really cute suburb. Obviously you guys can't see because I'm just filming the road, but hopefully once we turn off into the like area where the houses are, which kind of isn't for a while. This is kind of farther away than I thought. Oh shoot, I'm in a turn lane and I don't want to be in the oh maybe I do. Oh, I'm confused. Okay, I guess I don't have it. No, okay, no, we're okay. All right, wow, okay. See, driving is hard for me. Hard to drive and talk. Multitasking is not easy. But moral of the story is, if I'm going to live in Fort Collins one day, I'm going to live in this area, like this western part where it kind of goes up into the mountains. I like that. And I also understand that it is so hazy that you can't even see the mountains, which is sad because we're like right next to them now. So anyway, I'm sorry for you that I couldn't fix that for us today. So now we are finally turning off whatever this road is. We are turning left.
Turn right.
Into, what is this? Taft Canyon is what they call this subdivision. Great, now I get to follow this other Subaru. They probably think I'm following them. I'm not. I'm just going where the Randonautica app is leading me. Oh, okay. Well, just pretend like we don't see them going home. This is a super cute neighborhood. This actually kind of reminds me of Boulder, the way it's laid out. But why would I be surprised about that? I mean, we're all just Colorado places, so it makes sense we look kind of similar. But okay, so what it wants me to do is I kind of get my bearings here is I guess drive around to whatever spot is going to be good for us to park, or where Google thinks we should park. And eventually we're going downhill. Oh great, there's a car behind me now. I always feel bad about that because I tend to drive a little slower when I'm filming. I'm looking around, and I'm sure people behind me are like, what is this lady doing? Look how cute this house is, this like yellow house on the hill. This reminds me of Massachusetts. Oh, I miss Massachusetts. I think I'm going to go back there soon. Oh, I see. Okay. You can't see it yet, but... Oh, shit. Okay, we're turning left. Okay, this person behind me.
You will arrive at your destination.
Okay, that's it. It's not really a park. And all these kids are going home, so I'm going to pull over for a second. I just had to pause and get my bearings, let the person behind me go around. And there's all these kids up ahead. I didn't want to drive past them filming. So let's just stop here and get my bearings. So I'm going to apparently keep driving down this road, park over here, and then it wants me to walk back here, which I don't know if that is possible. I almost wonder if I should just stay parked here, because let me show you something. You can't really see it on film, I don't think, but behind this like little White House, sorry, what am I saying? Lighthouse decoration. Oh, a car's coming. There's like a little path that looks like it kind of leads into this barren field, and that might be I'm worried that if I drive farther down, there's not really going to be an entry point between the houses. So I'm going to drive down there, see if there is. And if there isn't, which I bet there isn't, I'm going to come back here. We're going to park and we're going to go for a walk into the field. Okay, I'm at the spot that it thinks I can park and just walk back there, and I definitely can't. Like, you can kind of see through the trees. The point is directly to our right, but I'm not just going to walk through people's yard. So I'm going to go back and park up where I was, and then we're going to walk. Okay, we are walking. I feel extremely self-conscious, I guess, about... Oh, there's a dog. Oh gosh, maybe I can't really walk back here. Okay, let me just reassess this. What I thought was a path is actually just the continuation of people's yards, and we need to reassess because I feel extremely self-conscious. So I'm pretty uncomfortable being considered suspicious. I would only like to be considered good and not suspicious. And there's something about the vibe of this neighborhood. It feels awesome. Like, I would love to live here. This feels like exactly the kind of neighborhood you would want to raise kids in. But it also feels a little like protective. Like, the vibe here is very like suspicious of people like me with a camera and a mic on, just like roaming around the backyards. So now that we, as you just saw, I thought it was like a path, as if like you could walk back there, but just let me show you again. You can kind of see what I thought was a path, like right here, is actually just kind of like the worn out, I don't know, barrier of this person's yard. And it doesn't actually, what am I saying, like lead any way into the field. But this is what it is. It's just a field, and that's why it looked a little bit odd on the map, because it's not actually a park. It's just a field. All of the backyards, they kind of look out into the field. So interesting, again, that the point is like really the center of that field, where I couldn't even walk into it anyway. It's very tall grass. Also looks like there's like marshy bits, as you can see from like the green shoots that are in, what are those called? Those little marshy plants. But I'm close enough to the point, and I've gotten like enough of a vibe here, and I can kind of see the point physically from here, that I think I can get an interpretation, I think, on this point. But maybe you guys can help me, because, as I said, when I'm in a little bit of a heightened self-conscious state, which I can definitely be, oh, that's sharp. Ow. Stepped on a Sharpie plant. As I was saying, I don't fully remember what I was saying, because I was distracted by a truck and the sharpness of the plant, and I don't like being suspicious. Moral of the story. But I think I was saying that I have an idea here. And part of it is because I don't feel creeped out at all, except for by my own self-consciousness. But I don't get like a creepy vibe about this point. I don't feel like this neighborhood is dangerous or there's some sort of warning involved in this point. This, to me, again, feels... it feels like a reminder of life to me. It feels like a homecoming kind of feeling. And I don't know if like that means that the message from the victims is that like they are home, or that they want to encourage those of us who are still on this planet to embrace life and to, find home and meaning and life. I'm not sure. But it is fascinating, as I've said, that the point is in the center of the field and all these houses kind of back to it. It's almost like, it creates almost like a sense of community. So that could also be a part of this meaning, is like feeling like there's community somehow. I mean, he killed like 30 women or something like that, like a lot of women. So just in that, there's a very sad, tragic community just in that like all of their souls are kind of together on the other side. But this is a little bit of a tough one in that like I feel like there is something kind of hidden from me and that I don't really know the full story. But as I said, I really can't get to this point either. We got a little bit closer. It felt more accessible. It feels much more peaceful. The other point felt chaotic. It felt obviously inaccessible. And as I said, there was a tree that looked creepy and we couldn't get to it. But this has been an interesting marrying of Ted Bundy with Fort Collins. Also, I'm sorry if you can see any like brownness in my teeth. I had to eat an RX bar. I was so hungry. So I'm sorry if this whole video you've just been staring at RX bar remnants in my teeth, but life happens. So whether you watch this video just to see footage of Fort Collins, or you watched it because you're curious about Ted Bundy and what kinds of weird, ghostly, spiritual facts we can pick up on with the Randonautica app, I hope that you got something out of this video. I really enjoyed being back in Fort Collins. Being back here now, it's like a reminder, like, yeah, I should come up here and I should do more of these. You saw how big this area is. It's like there's a lot to discover here, and I've only shown you just a little fraction of it. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, do all those things. Also, please donate to me on Ko-Fi if you have the means to. That just supports my channel so much. So thank you to those of you who do that. Have a good day, stay blessed, and I will see you in my next video.